thanks everybody for coming. It's been a pleasure to start out with. I want to just say that it's been a pleasure to work with this group of men this year, and for many of them, the ones you see on my left, for the past 4 or 5 years. For some, incredible men, incredible leaders, resilient, and they've, with support of others, they've done a great job in earning their way to be here. So I'm proud to be here with these men, and I'm sure that we'll put everything we have on the ice tomorrow. There's experience in here in the tournament. I think everybody sitting with me has played in 3 straight national tournament games. So there's experience within the group, and that experience filters through. So again, very, very proud and honored to be with this group of men here.
Thanks, Joe. We can have questions for Arvid, Ryland, and Blake. Please identify yourself and speak loudly, because I don't think we have a microphone out there. Questions for the players?
Yeah, I feel like we always had the belief in the room that we've had it. We just didn't really string together enough wins in a row. It was just kind of win, loss, win, loss. And then we had a bye week, and I think that's when we started playing well. We worked on our skills and our team habits, and that's kind of when we started seeing some wins pile up, and kind of been sticking to it ever since.
Thank you, WBZ. Just what is the everyone mind going down the line? Some of these leagues. Your thoughts on going up against the top team in the land? What was the mindset, facing a team like you?
Yeah, they're obviously a great team. A lot of offense. They're number 1 in the country for a reason. But as is every team in the tournament, they're going to be a tough test. And we feel like we belong here, so we're just going to give them our best shot tomorrow night.
Obviously, they're high skilled and can score goals, but we're going to focus on ourselves on the ice and just play our game and come out hard and give it our best.
Yeah, same as these guys said, Boston College is a really good hockey team, but we know that we're good too, and I feel like we are more ready than ever to be here, so it's good.
How much does the experience of the last 2 years going into this year help in being ready and not being intimidated playing mind games going into the tournament?
Well, of course, it helps a lot. I feel like the last 2 years we've been here, we have been struggling a little bit before the tournament, and this year I feel like we start to heat up more now than we did the years before. So I feel like we're more ready than ever.
It also definitely helps that we won the league the last 2 years. We got beat in the semifinals, so coming in on a high and playing our best hockey is definitely going to help us here.
Yes.
Bill Cotton for Providence Journal for Arvid and for Ryland. Roster has a very international flavor to it, obviously. I wonder how much you guys have enjoyed this journey together and what you guys have learned about each other. So many guys from so many different places.
No, I mean, it means a lot for a team. It's a lot of different cultures, and for me, coming from Sweden, it's different from the beginning, and I feel like we have so many different cultures helps our team, and we build up that.
For me, it's just hearing where everyone came from and their families and their towns and the cities that they come from. It's awesome to hear about, and it makes me want to go see them down the line and visit with them and see where they grew up.
What is that moment like when you actually arrive at the destination, just getting out on this ice? And does it make it feel that much more real that the wheels are in motion, this is happening?
Yeah, I mean, it's really excited all the time. When you get down to a tournament and the first practice, it feels unreal. And then after a few minutes, you feel like you're ready. It's the same as every year. It's just a game.
Yeah.
One more for Blake. What's it been like this year with you?
Yeah, I got 2 brothers on the team. So yeah, it's been really special.
I guess with all 3 of you.
Yeah, it's been really special. To be able to bring our talents with the team too to the national stage is really awesome, and just hoping we can show what we can do.
We've I think what really helps us is we host the GLI every year, and that's a tournament setting. And this year we were able to win that. We beat Alaska, who was ranked at the time in the semis, and then Michigan State in the finals in a shootout. I think that environment with something on the line is probably the most comparable to what we're doing right now. But I think with the I think what really helped us last week is what we hope helps us tomorrow afternoon is the experience that we've had in being in overcoming. Like we've now won. We won the July. We won our Winter Carnival. Against a good Mankato team, Winter Carnival weekend, and then so the guys have put some. When they need to win, we had to win really our last game of the year to get home ice. And then you had to win on through to win the championship. So I think the guys have built confidence in themselves, and I think that's more important. I think Ryland said it in the press conference earlier that the difference between this year and the last couple years, where I thought we played really well against Duluth, like we lost Brian Hallinan on All-American, 40-point guy in the first shift of the first game for a hit from behind. They actually changed the rule, the hitting from behind rule from that. I think they call it the Hallinan rule now or something like that. But we played well in that game. We weren't able to score, and we got, I think they won 2-0, something like that. A really good Duluth team coming off of back-to-back national tournaments. We played well in that game. Last year we didn't play so well, but going into both those, we were locked into a national tournament bid. I don't even know if we had to win a first round of the playoffs. So some of that intensity, guys start thinking about, where I can play in a week or 2 weeks, as soon as the season's done. And our guys had to win their way through to keep things going. And I think that's where the guys are feeling a little bit better right now, in that we had to win our way in versus that at large where you take your foot off the gas a little bit. We had to win. And I give our guys full credit for that. It's a great group of young men. I didn't do anything. I think, first of all, I think our staff, we have a young staff, and I think that staff developed really well this year. We have, we don't have a coach with more than 2 years of coaching experience on the staff as far as being actually. So I know me personally, I really put an effort into helping them be accountable. The coaches, listen, guys, we got. I can't make all the decisions here. I need you guys to put it out on the line a little bit, and we need to talk some things over here within the group to come up with some ideas together and then implement them and give them accountability. So I think the staff did a really good job of growing, but really it's the players. I think there's a feeling we were picked to win the league, and the reason we were picked to win the league is the vote came out right after Blake and Logan announced that they were coming back. Now you get first team All-American goalie coming back. Within our league, they're like, he was the MVP of the league last year. Good luck beating them with him in the net. But the reality of it was we only had 34. I think the most games by any defenseman in our core was 34 games. We didn't have a defenseman within our whole lineup that played a full season. As that defensive core evolved, and some of that came through injury, where other guys had to step in and play. Nick Williams has emerged as being a tremendous player for us. As our defensive core evolved to get the puck up to our forwards and to protect Blake a little bit, I think that's where things started to really evolve. As our defensive group got more solid, it allowed Blake to settle in a little bit more, and now his numbers are great. He had 4 or 5 in the second half, shutouts in the second half of the year. Four shutouts in the second half of the year. So he ended up putting together a great year again, but a lot of it was consistency and predictability out of our defensive core. And again, I give a ton of credit to that to our assistant coaches.
Only one timely call last week against the Michigan team towards the end of the game. It was 5-on-5 for most of that game. It seemed to help us. Your thoughts on the powerful power play that BC has? How much of a effort is going to be to make sure that you're off the box?
Your name was Dirk Hembroff from Michigan Tech? That's right, okay. Yeah, I think our power play is good. BC's power play is good. Our penalty kill, as our D has evolved, as you know, has gotten much better in the second half. They're 1 and 2, I think, in the country in power play and penalty kill. So special teams is a big part of it. Last weekend, you could almost predict that because both of our teams, us and ourselves and Bemidji, as a rule, are in the top 5 in the country annually on fewest penalties, and usually 1 or 2 and flip-flopping for most penalties in league play. So you wouldn't expect a lot of special teams there. I think their power play came with 4.5 minutes left, and our guys did a great job, didn't give up a scoring chance on that. So if there's a lot of power, if special teams, you got to give that advantage on paper right now going into Boston College for sure. 1 and 2 in the country in special teams overall. We're number 1 in the country in combined special teams. So, depending on the officiating and how many penalties they're able to draw on things, I think all things being equal, I like our chances, all things being equal, with our goaltending and our, the way our guys have been killing lately and the way our power play's been playing lately. But you have to hope that it's not a special teams game going in, because they're the best in the country. So why you don't want to pour gas on a fire? Allow them to do what they do well and gain confidence. Providence, right? You're from Providence?
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. Thanks for hosting this. This is a tremendous venue.
Bill Codger, Providence Journal. I wanted to ask you, Coach, this being Hockey City, there'd be a fair amount of folks here, neutrals and Friar fans, I'm sure, who wouldn't be supporting Boston College. Who'd probably like to see an upset.
Well, that's good to hear.
I wonder, what is it about your team that you would say to folks who are either against BC or undecided? What would you say to those folks to get them behind you?
Well, first, I think what we've watched is some, Denver played them earlier, very early in the year, but there's a different game. The Eastern game and the Western game is a little bit different. Now, Big Ten hockey is similar to Hockey East in talent level, get up and go, we want to score, we want to transition, where the NCHC is more of a grinding structure, which is how we play. And so, it might be, there's a chance that there's a little surprise within that element. Even when we play Big Ten teams, we have success. I don't think in my, no disrespect in any way, but how many times have we played Michigan since I've been here? 5 maybe, and we haven't lost to them a single time. Now some of those are in GLI without their big guns when they're at the World Juniors and things, but we've characteristically done pretty well against a big team. So Big Ten, it might be a little bit. We're hoping that our game is more emblematic of when an Eastern team plays a Western team. It's not characteristically the same type of game, with the exception of the Big Ten. The Big Ten and Hockey East and those teams, they play a very similar style of game. They want to score goals by the bunches, which they do. They normally have a really good goaltender, which BC does. We have to get to him and create some scoring chances and give him, not let him settle into a game. I will throw out any insinuation that the only chance Michigan Tech has against BC is the veteran, that they're more veteran than the top guns, the big freshman group that BC has, because the reality of it is those freshmen for BC have played U18 World Championships, World Junior Championships. Those guys have played high pressure situations, so they're not like a typical freshman. So I don't think that experience will help us in staying in the game, but I don't think there's going to be any BC guys that are going to come out with big eyes and not perform to their best. Thanks for the question.
Joe, you've done a wonderful job fielding these questions. And, I'm going to put you on the spot here, though, since you've done such a wonderful job. And everybody knows that you're a former Lake State superstar goalie. Everybody knows you've done a great job in getting this team to the NCAA tournament for 3 consecutive years. And people want to know something else about the leadership of these teams that and what they're doing. Tell us something about you that we don't see on your bio.
First of all, superstar goalie at Lake State is a bit of a stretch. I think my biggest contribution to Lake State was graduating, because the next year Bruce Hoffert came in and won the national tournament. Was a freshman All-American, played 2 years, signed a major contract. So I think that my biggest contribution to that was graduating. But I do remember the last time familiarity I have with Providence was, I believe, was the 92 championship. Lake State beating Wisconsin here for the championship game in the spear throwing incident at the end of the game where the sticks were being launched, and so there's no secrets about me. I just I believe in our guys. We're not going to outcoach anybody. Our guys are going to have to outplay people, so we'll just trust that our guys will do that. We'll try to develop people to be accountable, and I think that's kind of the UP way. My hat's a UP hat. Handshake is a big deal. And what I want our guys to be able to do is 20 years down the road, when they look at each other, they meet up someplace, they hear about somebody that there's a good thought on them that person put everything they had into the big moments. And today's a big moment for them to earn that respect of their teammates.